Hello and welcome to my anticipated reads for the first quarter of 2023 video. So I am going to do a video that shares how I did on actually reading my anticipated releases books and what I thought of them and whether this is a good way to kind of figure out what books should be on your TBR. There's a lot of really great ones. So for instance, the third Finley Donovan by El Cosimano is coming out in that quarter, but I haven't read the first two Finley Donovans and I want to. They're on Scribd. I have them saved, but I haven't yet read them and I cannot guarantee that I will get to them in time for me to include them as like an anticipated release without reading the first one. Who knows? There's also This Woven Kingdom #2 by Tahereh Mafi that's coming out. I've seen the first one in my library. The cover is very attractive. I've picked it up and held it, but haven't actually checked it out. So that one's coming out. And then another one is the fourth Nevermore by Jessica Townsend is coming out in that quarter as well. I've read the first Nevermore, but have not continued with the series. And so until I can read those, I probably won't add those in as official anticipated releases. I'm going to really make an effort to read, but they are there and so possibly on my list. So I'm just going to go chronologically in the books that I am pretty sure that I am going to read. So the first one is Rose and Thistle, and that is by Laura France. This is a Christian historical fiction romance novel. It is set in the early 1700s and it has to do with our main character whose family has been determined to have Jacobite sympathies, and so they have to leave England, and it's set in like this old Scottish castle, and it's this main character kind of figuring out who can she trust and who can she not. It really gives me The Winter Sea by Susanna Kearsley vibes, which was my favorite book last year. It reminds me of The White Witch by Elizabeth Gouge. That whole kind of Jacobite time was very treacherous for people. So I'm really excited to read that, and I have been approved on Netflix to read that. And so that is at the top of my list, and that is coming out soon, the 3rd of January. Another one coming out the 3rd of January is For Lamb by Lisa Klein Ransom. I have read many of her books. We have some of her picture books. We've read some of her middle grade books. It is a YA historical fiction though. I think it is a little bit more hard-hitting. Her books are typically thin, but very packed with challenging topics, and this would be no different. And so this is during Jim Crow South. It is the story, I think, of a Black girl who somehow ends up in an interracial friendship with a white girl, and it's all of the struggles that happen. And I think I don't think Lisa Klein Ransom shies away from really awful things that happened in Jim Crow South, and so I am planning on read that, and again it comes out the 3rd of January. Next, another one that I have been approved for on NetGalley is called The Mitford Affair. This is by Marie Benedict, who in my opinion is a phenomenal historical fiction author, and this is the story of the notorious Mitford sisters. It is set in the time period leading up to World War II, and I think there is some exploration of what it is like to be close with your family and realizing that maybe they are making decisions in a political or fascist route that you don't necessarily agree with. And so trying to figure out how far does family support go when it is a detriment to your country and possibly your belief structure. And I don't know if I mentioned, but that one comes out the 17th of January. So on the 23rd of January, Prince Harry's Spare is supposed to come out. This is like a memoir autobiographical book. I am currently in the throes of watching the Netflix documentary that he and Meghan Markle did. And I mean, I realize that he and Meghan are a very polarizing topic. And I don't think it's as simple as sometimes we kind of see in the media. I think it's a very complex, layered, nuanced situation. But I am so intrigued to finally read something that he has written rather than other books I've seen out there have been written by other people. And so I realize Meghan probably had a hand in that, but I am interested to see what he says from his perspective. I think the title Spare is very telling of the route that he's going to go. So I definitely will be nosy and read that. So Spice Road is coming out. That is by Maya Ibrahim, and that is coming out, I think, the 24th of January. Spice Road is a fantasy novel. It is kind of Arabian inspired. There is this magical spice in the main character's land, and supposedly her brother has stolen this spice and is going out past the vast wilderness or whatever it's called, and he's like spreading it. And so she's promised this council that she would go and like get the spice back, I think, and rein her brother in. And so again, that struggle that characters have between country and what's morally right versus your family and your love for them, and kind of balancing those two aspects. Okay, so now we'll move into February. I only have one on my list for February, and that is A Day of Fallen Night. And this comes out February 23rd. This is Samantha Shannon's like prequel, but it's getting published after The Priory of the Orange Tree. I am going to put this on my anticipated release because The Priory of the Orange Tree is on my Christmas wish list. So if I get that, I will probably want to read the prequel as well. They are both very chunky books with beautiful covers. So I'm excited to get into Samantha Shannon's world there. So for March, I have The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi. This is by Shannon Chakraborty. And this is the author who wrote City of Brass, which I have not read, but this is a new series that she is starting, and the words used in the description are pirates, magic, mayhem. So I'm in. And I don't know if I said, but that comes out the 7th of March. So on the 14th of March, Vera Wang's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutano comes out. This just looks so cute. I have been having some side conversations with people about cozy mysteries and like how to find a cozy mystery that is intellectually challenging and stimulating and not just kind of really kind of bland and not complex. And I'm hoping that this is one. This is being touted as a cozy mystery. The main character is a woman who is older. She has a Gen Z son that she spies on the internet. But she owns a tea shop, and she comes down one morning from her upper residential area and finds a dead body. And in the hand of this man is a flash drive. And so instead of letting the police handle it, she takes the flash drive and tries to figure out the murder. And it just looks like such a cute story. It kind of gives me those Thursday Murder Club vibes. So, and then last I have Brandon Sanderson's fourth Skyward. It is called Defiant. This is another one of those where this actually is on my list, even though I haven't read the series, but I have the first two. I have found them in a used capacity, so I have them on my bookshelves to read, and so I will be interested in reading the fourth one as well. Okay, so those are the books that I have. I just think anticipated releases is just such a fun way to connect with everyone on BookTube and also support our favorite authors. So please feel free to leave below what your anticipated releases are, or if you have a video that you've done about it, leave that link below so that I can go and see what you're excited about as well. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.